are running Facebook ads and want to increase your ROAS, the return on ad spend, we've got a couple of new strategies to try out today. My guest today, Mit Manani, is going to talk about group funnels, the Facebook ads that keep the customer on Facebook itself and cost less. If you're ready for strategy talks, so am I. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Let's strategize together. Let's hear it from an expert. Join the conversation, it's informative and free. You and me, let's talk some strategy. Now here's your host, Morin-van.
Hi, everybody. My name is Morin-van. I'm back with another episode of Strategy Talks. This is going to be a very exciting episode. I have a Facebook ad expert here who's going to kind of lift the curtain, let us look behind the curtain of some Facebook ad strategies that he's using to keep people on Facebook. It's very exciting, and I'm just excited to share with you some new ways and some actionable ways that you can apply this to your ad strategy. So we're going to talk about meta ads strategies in just a second. But before we do, I want to welcome all of you that are here today on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube. Special welcome to those of you who listen to Strategy Talks as a podcast. So without much further ado, here's my friend Mit. Back on stage with us right here. How are you, Mit? And you're located in Paris, correct?
Yep.
All right. How is the weather in Paris these days?
It's been quite warm lately.
Nice.
And we had a very warm week last week, and this week it's back to being normal. I mean, just springtime weather, so I'm enjoying it quite a bit.
Excellent. So yeah, I'm not jealous at all for you being in Paris. It's a wonderful city. So let's just dive right in. You've worked with lots of top brands, and how do you feel like you approach meta ads differently than some other people might be? And what led you to this discovery?
Okay. If you look at the traditional way most people run ads is, it's buy my stuff. Here's my product, go buy it. You just put this image or this video up with a call to action that says, go to my website and buy my ebook or get my service or something else. And what happens with this is, and so Facebook has become a platform where it's become a cost per click service, where you're paying by the number of clicks you get, and you're competing with other people by bidding for ad space.
Right.
So, and if you look at the trends, the cost per click is going up higher and higher because more and more people are spending on ads, and that's expected to go even higher because of what's happening with Google, for example, because Google is now putting AI overviews on top, and it's also losing traffic to competition. So people predict that this ad spend, the cost per click is going to go higher because of this, because if people are getting lesser traffic from Google, they're going to want a different source to get their traffic from. So they're going to spend more on ads on Facebook, YouTube, and other platforms. So the alternate technique that I use is to, instead of sending people away from Facebook,
Sure,
is to keep them in the Facebook ecosystem. What we use is a mixture of Facebook profiles, Facebook pages, Facebook groups, and Messenger.
All right. So let's, before we move on to that. So your strategy is, instead of sending them away to buy a product that they don't really know very well yet, or a service that you're promoting, especially to a new audience, you're saying, let's keep and engage the audience, the customer, the potential customer on Facebook. Now, I just heard you say, we were talking in the green room, and you're talking about keeping them and sending them to a Facebook group or sending them to Messenger. So those are two different strategies. So let's get started with what that looks like. How do you build an ad, and how is it different from that traditional one?
Okay. So the first thing we do is we want to build a warm audience that likes and trusts us. And what we first do is we create a short video that's about 3 to 5 minutes long.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a horizontal video. We're not creating those short vertical videos. And instead, what we're doing is we create these 3 to 5 very educational, something that's not generic, something that teaches that helps our target audience, or my client's target audience, to be more specific, get a quick result.
Okay,
And
so let's reframe that. Instead of doing the vertical videos that everybody else is doing, YouTube Shorts, Reels, vertical video, you're saying a more traditional 3 to 5 minute educational video where you're teaching somebody something, maybe like a pain point, like, are you stuck on this, or like that? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
And we place it mainly to go on feeds.
Okay.
So it's either going to appear on your mobile feed or your desktop feed, and we're running it both on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay.
And the next thing we do is what we're trying to get is people who watch 25% of your videos.
Okay.
And we're building our warm audience. So what Facebook and Instagram let you do is you can create a custom audience consisting of people who viewed your videos. You can set how much they watch. So we want people who've watched at least 25%, because then we're building a high quality audience that's interested in this topic.
Okay, and of course, then they're familiar with, if they've watched at least a quarter, they're kind of familiar with either the spokesperson or the brand or whatever it is that you're trying to sell, the service, the product. Okay, it makes sense.
Yeah. And then what we do is we retarget that audience, and we do it 2 ways. One is we create a shorter ad.
Okay.
It's like a reel type of ad, and we ask people, hey, I saw that you watched that video. We either say directly, you watched that video, I see that you like my content, but I offer this service. If you want to learn more, message me. It's a messenger ad, so people can just click and message you.
Okay.
And or we ask, I saw you watch that video. I've got this extra resource. If you want this resource, message me. And then if they message us, we send them the resource, and we chat with them a bit more, and inform them about our course or our some sort of program we have, some sort of service we provide, and we show them how they can get a hold of it, and we get them to book a call or send them to a checkout page where they can buy it.
Okay. Is that process automated, Mitt, or is that something that you have a person answering those inquiries to ensure conversion? Is that something that you automate completely, or is there a human element there?
You can automate the first question. So what we do is when someone messages us, Facebook lets you send an automated message. So for example, for the first question, when we say, hey, if you want this resource, message us, you can set an automation that sends out a bunch of questions. So what we do with those questions is we qualify the audience.
Okay.
You can figure out if they're a right fit for your program. And so when they get back, it asks them the question and they respond. And then we send them the relevant resource. And that's one way to do it. Another way we do it is, instead of getting them to message us, we get them to sign up for something. You might have heard of these things called lead generation ads.
Yep.
Where instead of sending someone to a landing page, what you can do is you can get them to you can serve them a form directly on Facebook, and they can add in their details and sign up directly from Facebook without leaving. And what that does is it gets you leads for much cheaper than sending them away. But what many people don't know is after they sign up, you can send them to sort of a thank you page right within Facebook.
Okay.
And on that thank you page, what we do is we put a link to our Facebook group where we say, hey, you signed up for this resource. We've got this other resource that complements this resource that you can only get from our Facebook group. Join our Facebook group to get access to it.
This is so smart. This is so smart because it makes sense, right? People want to, they have a problem. You're showing them how you can solve it. You're giving them a resource, but wait, here, why don't you join our community? So if you have more questions, you can join. So what is the conversion rate on that? Like once they've downloaded the resource, they get this thank you page, they see the link. What is your conversion rate in people clicking and coming to your community?
So, I mean, I've gotten leads for less than 20 cents.
Wow.
And usually something like 80% of the people who sign up for the leads get into my community too.
Wow. That's incredible.
And what we do with the community is that you might have noticed that when you join a Facebook group, they ask you a list of questions.
Yes, usually 3, right? There's 3 questions right there. And before people can join, they have to answer the questions.
And what we do is we ask 3 questions. One is a qualifying question to make sure what sort of level they're on to see if they'll be a good fit. And the second one is we tell them about that we have a third resource. And if they want that resource, they can leave their email address. And then the third question we ask is, we have this service that we offer to people. If you want it, let us know with a yes, and we will DM you. So as when they join our Facebook group, we can also, if they say yes, we can DM them with details about our program.
Wow, that's really, really smart. You do this, you set up these campaigns for clients, correct?
Yeah, for clients, even for myself.
And I was going to say, and from what it sounds like, as you're talking to us about it, you're also doing this for yourself. So this is your lead gen for your clients to get. That's brilliant. I love it. So when we were talking in the green room, you kind of said like group funnels. Is that what you would call it? It's like a group funnel. Yeah.
We call it group funnels.
Group funnels. Anybody can do that. Do you have to have, so let's talk some more detail. So say the lead gen form in Facebook, that's there. Is it limited? Is it pretty good? What kind of information can you get from people when they fill out that lead form?
The problem for a lot of people with lead gen forms is the lead quality is not always good. That's the most common complaint about it. But what I find is the more questions you ask on the lead form, the higher the quality of lead.
Okay. That makes
sense.
So
you can ask as many questions as you want, but I usually go with the simplest forms. I just ask for the name and email because my goal is more to get them into the Facebook group. Because if they're getting into the Facebook group, I'm getting their profile, and I know that it's much easier for me to convert them by messaging them and having a chat with them. Because if the traditional way people do is they sign up as a lead, and then they consume your lead magnet, and then you're trying to convert them via email.
Right.
That's you're just having a one-way conversation with them, where it's based on some research you did in the past. But when I'm chatting with them, I can ask them questions about their pain points, about any objections they have, especially about buying this product, and I can quash those objections based on the answers they give me. And another benefit of this is when I have those chats with them, I'm gathering data, and I can use this information to create a better funnel in case I don't want to chat with anyone in the future. I want a traditional funnel. I can use this information to write copy that deals with those objections before they have them. And that's what we do for some clients, where we use these sort of funnels to to chat with their customers and get as much information as we can, and then we use this information to build a more traditional funnel, like a webinar funnel or an SLO funnel, which is a self-liquidating offer funnel, where you might have come across those where people have something cheap on the front end, which is between $3 to $27, and they keep ascending it into something more expensive.
Yep. Yeah.
So this can be a good way if this works out a lot cheaper, because instead of sending someone away, you're keeping them on Facebook.
And Facebook likes that. So
and Facebook likes that, yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. Now, we were talking earlier too, this is kind of a strategy that combines organic and paid, right? Because the Facebook group is you're getting to a place where you're going to have organic community interactions, and you're building a community. And then the paid, of course, are the ads that you're running. I'm an organic specialist. Sounds like you are a Facebook ad specialist, a meta ad specialist. So I always love working and picking the brains of somebody who does exactly, the opposite of what I do, but how the synergy between those two is really good. So let's talk a little bit about that. What have you found to be helpful that make your ads work better once you get people in the group or before they get in the group? Is there anything else that you need to do in the group or on a Facebook page organically to get these ads to work better?
I think, yeah, you can also make this work organically. I've done that with clients. And the way you do it organically is to create content for different things. I mean, for different stages of the funnel. So what you'll do is, if you want to do this organically, you create two different kinds of videos, or two different kinds. You need to separate your content into two different kinds: viral content and educative content. So at the first stage, you have viral content, and the goal of your viral content is to get out there and get as many views as possible and get you followers. So you're going to create something that has more mass appeal, and it's usually not educative, something that's very light. I find that what works for this is either something funny, something inspirational, or motivational, because that sort of content is going to do very well in getting you views and followers. And once that gets you followers, you have a lead. What you can do is you can start posting more educational content. So this content is not going to go viral, but your followers are going to see it. So kind of like the same video I make for my ads, the top of the funnel content, those 3 to 5 minute videos, you're going to create similar videos, and the people who followed you are going to watch those videos. And in those videos, you're going to have a call to action saying something like, hey, you want to see more of this content, you can join my Facebook group. And you can also place the link to your Facebook group in your bio or in your description, where people can easily access it. Description or your comments where people can access it.
Yeah.
And another thing about doing this is the video that goes viral.
Yeah.
You can create an audience consisting of the people who watched that organic video and retarget them with your educational content.
Oh, okay. So then you would use your organic and paid together that way.
Yeah.
So your organic, once you have the viral, that makes a lot of sense. It wouldn't be a good host if I didn't ask about mistakes that people make when they run things like that. What are some mistakes maybe that you made that you learned from, or that you see other people make when they're putting these kind of either group funnels out there, or they've tried to emulate you, or they do what you do, but they do it wrong? What are some pitfalls that you could run into when you run a campaign like this?
I think one of the biggest mistakes people make when they run something like this is is the hook. I think many people don't understand the importance of the hook. If you want people to watch your videos, you need to get the hook right, not only in your video, but also in your ad copy. So right from the start, you're gonna talk about the pain point that your audience has. You're gonna start immediately. Don't waste any time talking about who you are or what you do, because your audience doesn't care about that. All they care about is themselves. So think about the biggest pain point your audience has and start with that.
That's really good advice. I see that a lot of people that are trying to do Facebook videos or YouTube videos or even LinkedIn, they spend too much time introducing themselves. Even, when we're doing, especially when we're doing shorts, you don't have to say to people who you are. You have to show your expertise. So I love that you said that about the hook and that mistake. So the copy and the visuals, those hooks have to be right on target.
And what you can do is, especially if you're running ads, where you can create custom metrics, where you can create a metric called hook rate, which is the percentage of people who watched beyond the first 3 seconds of your video.
Yeah.
So you can take you can create this metric. You can create a custom metric called the hook rate, and you can see the percentage of people who watched beyond your video. And what you're going to aim for is 40% plus.
Okay.
So 40%, you want more than 40% people watching more than 3% of your videos, and you want about 8 to 10% of people watching more than the first 15 seconds.
Right.
And
okay.
and your goal is to get 25% views for less than $1. I've gotten it as low as 7 cents, but if you're getting it for $1, that's good.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I know that I don't know. I actually don't know. That's why I'm going to ask the question. Is it any different, or what are you running into? You're in Europe, running meta ads versus somebody in the US. The same strategy would apply no matter where you are. Is it more expensive to run ads? I'm just curious. In Europe than it is in the US. What are you seeing?
It is the same. I think how much it costs will depend on who you're targeting.
Okay.
And I'm targeting mostly people speaking English, so I'm not really targeting anyone in Europe. And also most of my clients are also targeting an English-speaking audience. So I'm usually going for the big five, which are America, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and England, and United Kingdom.
Right.
So yeah, it's yeah. I'm not targeting people outside anywhere, so it's going to cost people the same.
Okay, that's interesting. That's cool to know. Anything else that we need to know about this? I'm just curious. I was a community manager for many years before I became a social media strategist, and you can get people in a community. But I know this is kind of a side conversation, but how do you keep people in a community? What is something that you should or shouldn't do once you get them there, right? So they're still pretty new. You got them in there with an ad. You got them in there with the lead form. You did really great at putting the hook in, getting them hooked, getting them to download the resource. You got them. Now, what do we need to do to keep them or to convert them once they're in the Facebook group? I know this is a different conversation, but I'm just curious what you do.
So once they're in your Facebook group, what you want to be doing is you want to be posting content regularly, like once a day. What you can do is you can just repurpose some of the content you're posting on your profile, some of the emails you're sending. You can just take that content and make it into a post and post it in your group. You can also post some video content. What I find works very well in groups is live content. What you can do is you can go on Zoom. There's a way to integrate Zoom with your Facebook groups.
Yeah, I've done
So
that.
while you're doing a live video call and recording it on Zoom, it's also going to run on Facebook, and I actually find that if a group is dead, an easy way to revive it is by doing live video. For some, live video does very well in Facebook groups, but make sure that if you do a live video, you download it, because Facebook is going to delete it in 30 days, like they
Yes.
do.
I know that's a new thing. I have all of my strategy talks scheduled, and they keep telling me, like, hey, we're gonna delete it. I'm like, I'm good.
Okay.
For those of you curious, I record all of this in StreamYard, so it goes out live, but I have the recording in StreamYard, and I have them all on my Google Drive, so I'm not worried about that. But if you are a Facebook group owner and you're doing lives, and this is great advice, somebody wants to revive a community, go live, make sure that you download that, or you have the file, because it will be deleted after 30 days, which is a pretty new thing. Do you know why they're doing that? Is that to free up space, or what do you think?
I don't know, maybe it's a money problem. I don't know, because they said that they're going to lose. They said that they're going to lose money in the short term because they're going to focus on AI. Maybe that's why they try. This is just a theory, but I think that they're trying to save money in all ways they can.
All right. We're almost at the end. Is there, if somebody listened to this whole episode, and I'm fascinated, like, I want to go test some of this stuff. This is great. If somebody wants to try this, how can they connect with you if they have a questions and potentially join your community? How would they get in contact with you, and where are you most active on social media?
They can connect with me on uncamouflage.com. That's my agency website. And they can also reach out to me on LinkedIn. I'm also very active on Facebook.
Okay,
so
that makes sense.
They can message me on Messenger.
Okay.
And
excellent. And for those of you watching, you can see Mit's website. I put it in a ticker below, uncamouflage.com, and it's right there. So connect. And Mit, I just want to tell our listeners the story. You and I recently connected on LinkedIn, but we have been following each other on Twitter probably a long time ago. I remember seeing your face, and then we were recently tagged in a redo of an article, like 20 or 30 people to follow on Twitter from 10 years ago, that they had updated with where are they now? And it was so timely, because you and I had just recently reconnected on LinkedIn, and now we're tagged on that. We were both active on Twitter, which is now X, more than 10 years ago, experts talking about social media. And I love meeting people who have been on this and on this journey like I have for more than 10 years, and still honing our craft and doing stuff. So just wanted to say that you never know who you meet where, and that's how you and I reconnected. I love that, and really appreciate your expertise today, Mitt. I can see that there's just lots of information there, and lots of expertise about these funnels. And so I would encourage our listeners and our video watchers today, if you have any questions about ads, to go to Mitt and ask him questions, and to connect with him. Great resource on all of this. And let us know if you think you might be ready to try something like this for your ads, and get some better return on your ad spend. That would be amazing. So Mitt, thank you so much for being with us today. I appreciate you giving us your time. Thank you so much to those of you who stayed all the way to the end of this episode of Strategy Talks. I'll be back next week with another episode. Bye, everybody.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Bye, everybody.